On Christmas Eve, a retired father sat quietly at the family dinner table, until his own daughter suddenly stood up and screamed, "Pay the rent or get out." But what nobody knew was that she was hiding a secret worth $3 million, and one sentence from her father would leave the entire room frozen. What would you do if your own child publicly humiliated you for money? Watch until the end, because this family drama takes shocking twists you won't expect. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional stories. Christmas used to be my favorite time of year. After my wife, Eleanor, passed away 3 years earlier, I clung to every family gathering as if it were a lifeline. The sound of laughter, children running through hallways, and the smell of roasted turkey somehow made the empty spaces inside me feel smaller. My name is Kevin Dorson. I am 63 years old, a retired maritime engineer who spent nearly 40 years designing navigation systems for cargo vessels. I was never a wealthy celebrity or a famous businessman. I simply worked hard, invested carefully, and built a comfortable life for my family. 8 months earlier, I made a decision that many people questioned. I sold my large house near the coast. Not because I needed money. Not because I had debts. I sold it because every room reminded me of my wife. Her books still sat beside the fireplace. Her favorite mug remained in the kitchen cabinet. Sometimes I could almost hear her footsteps upstairs. Living alone became unbearable. My daughter, Lyrianne Vale Dorson, insisted that I move into her home in Seattle. "Dad, you shouldn't be alone anymore," she had told me over the phone. "The kids miss you. We have plenty of room." At the time, I believed her words came from love. Perhaps I wanted to believe that. Her house was enormous compared to mine. Modern architecture, tall glass windows, imported furniture, and expensive artwork decorated nearly every corner. Everything looked like something from a luxury magazine. Lyrianne often posted photographs online. Perfect family dinners. Perfect vacations. Perfect smiles. Thousands of people followed her social media accounts. According to the internet, she was a successful entrepreneur and inspirational businesswoman. I never fully understood what she actually did. Whenever I asked, she simply smiled. Brand partnerships, investments, consulting. "It's complicated, Dad." So I stopped asking. During the months I lived there, I tried my best not to become a burden. I cooked breakfast for the grandchildren every morning. I repaired leaking faucets and broken shelves. I drove the children to school whenever their parents were busy. Sometimes I even prepared dinner before everyone returned home. I contributed where I could. And yet, little things began to change. At first, I ignored them. Lyrianne became increasingly distant. She often looked stressed. She spent hours speaking on the phone behind closed doors. Sometimes I heard arguments between her and her husband, Marcus Belgrave. Their voices were low, but occasionally I caught fragments. "We don't have enough time. They're asking questions. You promised everything would work." I assumed they were dealing with business problems. Every family has difficulties. I chose not to interfere. Then came December. As Christmas approached, the atmosphere inside the house became strangely tense. Packages arrived almost daily. Expensive decorations covered every room. Professional photographers even visited the house twice. It all seemed excessive. One evening, I found my granddaughter, Avalis, sitting alone in the kitchen. She looked troubled. "You okay?" I asked. She hesitated. Then she forced a smile. "Yeah, Grandpa." But I could tell she was lying. Before I could ask further questions, Lyrianne suddenly entered the room. "Avalis, your tutor is waiting upstairs." Her tone was unusually sharp. The girl immediately stood and left. Lyrianne then turned toward me. For a brief moment, I noticed something in her expression. Fear. It disappeared almost instantly. "You should rest, Dad." I nodded. But that night, I barely slept. 2 days later, Christmas Eve finally arrived. By late afternoon, relatives began arriving from different cities. My brother, cousins, nephews, old family friends. 23 people eventually filled the house. The dining room glowed under golden lights. Music played softly in the background. Children laughed. Wine glasses clinked. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. Perhaps I had imagined the tension. Perhaps everything was finally returning to normal. As dinner began, I raised my glass. To family, I said. Everyone smiled. But before anyone could respond, I noticed Lyrienne staring at me. Her fingers tightened around her wine glass. Marcus looked uncomfortable. Avalis lowered her eyes toward her plate. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Then suddenly, Lyrienne stood up. The room fell silent. She slowly looked around the table, and then her eyes locked onto mine. I felt a strange chill run through my body. The next words that came from her mouth would change everything. Lyrienne slowly placed her wine glass on the table. Every conversation stopped. Even the children seemed to sense that something was wrong. She crossed her arms and looked directly at me. "Dad," she said calmly at first, "I think it's time we talk about something important." I frowned. Of course. She took a deep breath. Then her expression hardened. "If you want to continue living here, you need to start paying rent." The entire room froze. I blinked. For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood her. "Rent," I repeated quietly. "Yes." A nervous laugh escaped one of my cousins, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. Lyrienne continued. "We've been supporting you for months. Food, utilities, everything. It's unfair for all the responsibility to fall on us." Silence. I slowly put down my fork. I looked around the table. Several relatives avoided eye contact. Others stared at me with pity. My younger brother, Darren, looked completely shocked. "Lyrienne," he said carefully, "this really isn't the time." "No, Uncle Darren," she interrupted. "This conversation is long overdue." Her voice became louder. "I've sacrificed enough." I felt my chest tighten. Sacrificed. I had cooked, cleaned, repaired half the house, and spent most of my savings helping family over the years. Yet I remained calm. Did I do something wrong? I asked. Instead of answering, she let out a bitter laugh. "Wrong? Dad, you've been depending on us since you sold your house." The words struck me harder than I expected. Depending on them. I had never asked her for money. Never. In fact, she had repeatedly refused whenever I offered to contribute financially. "You should keep your savings," she always said. Now, in front of everyone, she was presenting a completely different story. Marcus suddenly leaned back in his chair. He folded his arms. A faint smile appeared on his face. Maybe this will teach some people that retirement doesn't mean living off your children forever. Several guests looked uncomfortable. One aunt quietly lowered her fork. Another relative whispered something under her breath. I looked at Marcus. For the first time, I noticed something strange. He looked nervous despite his smile. His fingers kept tapping against the table, as if he didn't want to be there. I turned back toward my daughter. "Why are we discussing this tonight?" "Because everyone should know the truth." "The truth?" "Yes." Her voice grew louder. "I've spent months taking care of you while trying to support my own family." I could hardly believe what I was hearing. Avalis suddenly stood up. "Mom." "Sit down," Lyrienne snapped. The girl immediately fell silent. I noticed tears forming in her eyes. That disturbed me more than the accusations. Then my daughter said the words that changed the atmosphere entirely. "If you can't pay rent, then maybe it's time you move out." Gasps echoed around the table. Someone nearly dropped a glass. My brother stared at her in disbelief. "Are you serious?" She didn't answer. Her eyes remained fixed on me, as if she were waiting for something. An argument. A scene. A public humiliation. But I had spent decades working with difficult people. I had learned long ago that anger often gives others exactly what they want. So instead, I remained quiet. I carefully folded my napkin. Then I slowly looked at my daughter. Lyrienne. Yes. Are you absolutely certain you want to do this tonight? For the first time, her expression changed. Only slightly. A flicker of uncertainty crossed her face, but it vanished almost immediately. Of course. I nodded. I see. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. Several relatives looked between us. The room had become painfully silent. Then I said something that made my daughter freeze. Interesting. She frowned. What is? I leaned back in my chair. The fact that you're suddenly worried about money. Her face lost a little color. What does that mean? I studied her carefully. For months, I had ignored certain details. The late-night arguments. The constant phone calls. The unusual tension. The expensive lifestyle becoming even more extravagant. Suddenly, everything felt different. I spoke quietly. You've never cared whether I contributed financially before. No answer. You insisted that I move here. Still no answer. You refused every offer I made. A few relatives slowly turned toward Lyrienne. Her breathing became slightly heavier. I continued. So why now? She swallowed. No one moved. No one spoke. Then Marcus suddenly cleared his throat. Kevin, maybe we're all emotional tonight. I looked at him. He avoided my eyes. Interesting. Very interesting. I turned back toward my daughter. You know, when someone suddenly changes their behavior, there is usually a reason. Elle, listen. Are you having financial problems? Her face immediately became pale. The reaction was so quick that everyone noticed. Several relatives exchanged confused looks. No, she said too quickly. I remained silent. She became defensive. Why would you even ask that? I did not answer, because now I was certain. Something was terribly wrong. Then my phone vibrated inside my pocket. One message. Unknown number. I quietly took it out beneath the table. The message contained only one sentence. Do not give them money. They are lying to everyone. I slowly raised my eyes. Someone in this house knew the truth. And whoever sent that message was afraid. The message remained on my screen. Do not give them money. They are lying to everyone. I read it twice. Then a third time. A strange feeling settled in my stomach. I slowly looked around the dining room. 23 people sat at the table. Some appeared uncomfortable. Others looked confused. But one person refused to look at me. Avalice. My granddaughter kept staring at her plate. Her hands were trembling. Interesting. I slipped my phone back into my pocket. Lyrienne cleared her throat. Dad, we're trying to have an honest conversation. I looked at her calmly. Are we? Her expression tightened. Of course. I leaned slightly forward. Then let's be honest. The room became silent again. If this is really about household expenses, tell everyone how much money you need. She blinked. What? You said you're struggling because of me. Yes. Then give us the numbers. Her face stiffened. For several seconds, she said nothing. Marcus suddenly spoke. Kevin, this isn't necessary. I turned toward him. Actually, I think it is. He immediately looked away. I had spent decades negotiating contracts and supervising large engineering teams. One thing I learned over the years was simple. People who tell the truth usually provide details. People who lie often avoid them. I folded my hands. How much do I supposedly owe you? Lirian swallowed. I don't know the exact amount. Several relatives exchanged glances. You don't know. We've spent money on utilities and food. How much? I haven't calculated it. The atmosphere became increasingly uncomfortable. Uncle Darren sighed. Lirian, perhaps this discussion can wait until after Christmas. No. Her answer came too quickly. Her eyes suddenly filled with frustration. No, this needs to happen now. There it was again. Desperation. Not anger. Not resentment. Desperation. I quietly studied my daughter. Her makeup could not fully hide the dark circles under her eyes. She had lost weight. Her smile over the past few months had often seemed forced. Then several memories suddenly returned to me. The late-night arguments. The constant deliveries. The expensive parties. The photographers. The endless social media posts. A troubling thought entered my mind. How much money was she actually spending? Dad. I looked back at her. You haven't answered. Answered what? Will you pay rent? Everyone looked at me. I slowly inhaled. Then I stood up. The movement startled several people. I picked up my glass and calmly took a sip of water. No. The room froze. Lirian stared at me. No. I will not pay rent. Her face immediately turned red. Then you'll have to leave. Gasps spread across the table. Aunt Miriam covered her mouth. Uncle Darren stood halfway from his chair. Lirian. But she ignored everyone. She kept staring at me. As if she expected me to beg. As if she expected tears. Instead, I simply nodded. Very well. She blinked. What? I said very well. The color slowly drained from her face. I could almost see her confusion. You're agreeing? Yes. Now even Marcus looked surprised. I calmly reached for my napkin. I'll leave tomorrow morning. The room erupted. Kevin, don't do this. This is ridiculous. You can't leave on Christmas. Voices came from every direction, but I ignored them, because I was watching my daughter, and her reaction made no sense. She looked panicked. This was not the expression of someone who wanted me gone. This was the expression of someone whose plan was suddenly failing. Her breathing became uneven. Dad, wait. I raised an eyebrow. I thought this was what you wanted. For the first time that evening, she seemed unable to speak. Then Marcus suddenly stood. Everyone should calm down. No, I said quietly. Everyone looked at me. I slowly turned toward him. Actually, I think everyone should start asking questions. His face became tense. What do you mean? I took my phone from my pocket. The mysterious message still glowed on the screen. Someone was lying. And someone else was trying to warn me. I looked around the room. Tell me something. Nobody moved. Why does everyone suddenly seem afraid? Silence. Then I noticed it. A tiny movement. Avalis slowly looked up. Her eyes met mine. For only a second. Then she looked toward the staircase. Almost as if she were trying to tell me something. I followed her gaze. Nothing. Just the second-floor hallway. But then I remembered something. Earlier that evening, before dinner, I had seen two unfamiliar men leaving my daughter's office. At the time, I assumed they were business partners. Now I wasn't so sure. A cold sensation ran through me. I looked back at Lirian. Who was here before dinner? Her eyes widened. What? The two men. Nobody spoke. I saw them leaving your office. She looked completely unprepared for the question. Marcus suddenly became pale. No one important. Then why do both of you look terrified? Silence. I could hear the ticking of the wall clock. Tick, tick, tick. Then, unexpectedly, the doorbell rang. Everyone jumped. At nearly 9 o'clock at night, nobody had expected additional guests. A servant walked toward the entrance. A few seconds later, we heard voices. Then footsteps. Heavy footsteps. 3 people entered the dining room. 2 men in dark suits, and a woman carrying a leather folder. The moment Lyrienne saw them, she nearly dropped her glass. Marcus looked like he had seen a ghost. The woman spoke first. "Mrs. Dawson." Nobody breathed. She opened the folder. "We've been trying to contact you regarding your overdue obligations." The room fell completely silent. I slowly turned toward my daughter. Her face had become completely white. Then the woman said words none of us would ever forget. "You currently owe over $3 million. And suddenly, everything made sense. Nobody moved. Nobody even breathed. The woman in the dark suit stood beside the dining table while holding her folder. "You currently owe over $3 million. Her words echoed inside the room. Lyrienne's hand began shaking. Marcus immediately stood up. "This isn't the right time." The woman remained expressionless. We attempted to contact Mrs. Dawson multiple times. One of the men beside her stepped forward. "Our office has sent notices for 6 weeks." Several relatives looked at my daughter in disbelief. $3 million. It sounded impossible. Uncle Darren slowly sat down again. "What is happening here?" No one answered him. I looked at Lyrienne. She looked completely frozen. Gone was the confident woman who had publicly demanded rent for me only minutes earlier. Now she appeared frightened, cornered. Avarice suddenly covered her mouth. She looked as though she wanted to cry. Marcus turned toward the guests. "This is a misunderstanding." The woman immediately opened her folder. "I don't believe it is." She removed several documents. Multiple loans were taken under various business entities linked to Mrs. Dawson. The room became even quieter. Aunt Miriam whispered softly, "I thought she owned successful companies." Another relative muttered, "I saw her interviews online." The woman continued, "Several investors have also filed complaints." Lyrienne suddenly snapped, "Stop talking." Everyone jumped. She looked at the woman with panic in her eyes. "Leave." "Mrs. Dawson." I said leave. Her voice cracked. For a brief moment, nobody said anything. Then I slowly stood. "Lyrienne." She turned toward me. Tears had started forming in her eyes. "Dad." That single word sounded different. No arrogance. No anger. Only fear. I looked at her quietly. "Tell me the truth." She lowered her gaze. "Not now." "When?" Silence. "When everything is already destroyed?" Marcus suddenly rubbed his forehead. His face looked exhausted. One of the men in suits sighed. "We are not here to create a scene. We only require immediate communication regarding repayment." The irony almost made me laugh. A Christmas dinner had already become a disaster. The scene had already happened. I slowly sat back down. Then I noticed something unusual. The woman carrying the folder looked at me repeatedly, as if she recognized my name. Finally, she spoke. "Mr. Kevin Dawson?" I looked up. "Yes." She hesitated. Then she opened another section of the folder. "What?" Her expression became uncertain. "I believe you should see this." Lyrienne suddenly looked terrified. "No." She immediately rushed forward. But Marcus grabbed her arm. "Lyrienne." She struggled. "Don't." The woman slowly removed several papers. Then she handed them to me. I looked down. and immediately felt my blood turn cold. My name, my signature, several financial guarantees. I stared at the documents. For a moment, I couldn't understand what I was seeing. Then realization hit me. No. My voice came out as a whisper. The signatures looked exactly like mine, but they weren't. I had never signed these papers. Ever. The room suddenly became chaotic. What is it? What happened? I slowly raised my head. Lirienne. She looked as though she was about to collapse. Did you use my name? Her tears finally fell. Dad. Answer me. Silence. Marcus closed his eyes, as if he had already known. I looked at the papers again. According to the documents, I had personally guaranteed several loans. Millions of dollars. If these documents were accepted legally, everything I owned could be at risk. Even after selling my old house, I still possessed investments, retirement funds, and savings. My hands slowly trembled. I never imagined I would one day ask this question. To my own daughter. Did you forge my signature? The room became completely silent. Lirienne couldn't even look at me. That was answer enough. Avalice suddenly burst into tears. Oh my God. Aunt Miriam sat down heavily. Uncle Darren looked furious. Marcus finally spoke. I told her not to do it. Everyone turned toward him. His shoulders looked defeated. I told her months ago. Lirienne immediately looked at him. Marcus. No. For the first time that night, his voice became firm. No more lies. He looked at everyone. The businesses failed. Nobody spoke. The investors wanted results. He swallowed. The luxury lifestyle online, the vacations, the success stories. He looked toward me. Most of it was financed through loans. Several people gasped. It was all for appearances. I closed my eyes for a moment. Everything suddenly connected. The expensive parties, the photographers, the endless social media posts, the late-night arguments, the stress, the fear. Lirienne had built an empire made entirely of debt. And somehow, she believed humiliating me would solve it. I slowly opened my eyes. Why? She finally looked at me. Her face was ruined by tears. I didn't know what else to do. You forged my signature. I was desperate. You publicly humiliated me. I needed money. The room shook with emotions. Then she shouted the words she had hidden for months. The investors were leaving. Silence. She breathed heavily. They wanted proof that my brand still had public sympathy. Nobody understood. Then she continued. They loved the story of me taking care of my elderly father. My heart sank. No. No. They invested because they believed I was sacrificing everything for family. A terrible realization spread across the room. I was not family to her. I was marketing. An image. A story. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I thought, if everyone saw you depending on me, maybe people would support me again. The room fell silent. Even the debt collectors looked stunned. I simply stared at my daughter. For the first time in my life, I did not recognize her. Then my phone vibrated once again. Another message from the unknown number. This time there were only 4 words. She hasn't told everything. I slowly looked up. Someone still knew another secret. And judging by the message, the worst truth had yet to come. The message remained on my screen. She hasn't told everything. I slowly looked around the dining room. Everyone seemed shocked. Some relatives were whispering. Others simply stared at Lirienne as if they had never truly known her. The Christmas decorations suddenly felt meaningless. The lights, the music, the expensive ornaments. Everything looked artificial. Just like the image my daughter had spent years creating. I put my phone back into my pocket. "Lyrian," I said quietly. She lifted her head. Her eyes were swollen from crying. "What else aren't you telling us?" She immediately shook her head. "Nothing." I remained silent. She looked away. That alone was enough. Marcus suddenly sighed. "There is something else." Her head snapped toward him. "Marcus, don't." He closed his eyes for several seconds. When he opened them again, he looked exhausted. "No more lies." The room became quiet. He slowly sat down. Then he looked directly at me. "Kevin, those loans aren't the biggest problem." A cold feeling spread through my chest. "What do you mean?" Marcus swallowed. Then he pointed toward the papers in my hands. "Those signatures weren't the only documents using your name." I frowned. "What?" Lyrian suddenly stood. "Stop." But Marcus ignored her. "There are investors who believe you are involved in her businesses." The room erupted again. "What? Kevin is involved?" I thought he was retired. Marcus shook his head. "They think Mr. Kevin Dorson personally supports the company." I stared at him. "I've never even met those people." "I know." The color drained from my face. Then Marcus said something even worse. "Some of them invested because they believed your retirement funds and assets were backing the company." Silence. Absolute silence. I slowly looked toward my daughter. Her lips trembled. "No." The realization struck me. "You used my reputation." She began crying again. "Dad, I didn't know what to do. You told strangers that I supported your business?" I was desperate. "Did you tell them I agreed?" No answer. I took a step backward. For the first time that night, I felt genuinely weak. This wasn't merely financial irresponsibility anymore. This was betrayal. Deep betrayal. Then suddenly, a chair moved. Everyone turned. Avalis had stood up. Tears covered her face. "I can't do this anymore." Her voice trembled. "Avalis." Her mother whispered. But the girl shook her head. "No." She looked at me. Then she reached inside her sweater and removed her phone. I sent the messages. The entire room froze. I blinked. "You." She nodded while crying. "I'm sorry, Grandpa." Lyrian's eyes widened. "You sent him those texts." I didn't know what else to do. Her voice finally broke. "You kept lying." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "You lied to Dad. You lied to everyone. You even lied to me." Lyrian looked devastated. "Avalis." "No." The teenager wiped her tears. "I heard everything. Nobody spoke. I heard your meetings. I heard your phone calls. I heard you telling people that Grandpa was helpless." Her breathing became uneven. "You said people loved seeing you take care of him because it made you look kind." The room became painfully silent. I felt something inside me sink. My own granddaughter had been carrying this burden alone. 4 months. Then she looked toward me again. I also found something. Everyone stared at her. Slowly, she unlocked her phone. Then she opened a folder. "There are recordings." Lyrian immediately became pale. "No." Marcus looked shocked. "What recordings?" Avalis' hands trembled. "I recorded some conversations because I thought Mom was doing something wrong." The room remained silent. Then she pressed play. A voice filled the dining room. Lyrian's voice. Clear. Undeniable. "If Dad leaves publicly, people will feel sorry for me." My heart stopped. The recording continued. "The investors need an emotional story." Then another voice. "Marcus. This is insane." Lyrian answered immediately. I don't have a choice. The recording ended. Nobody moved. Nobody even breathed. Aunt Miriam covered her mouth. Uncle Darren slowly sat down. One relative whispered, "Oh my God." I looked at my daughter. She looked completely broken. But the recording wasn't finished. Avalis pressed play again. This time, Lyrienne's voice sounded colder. People care more about stories than numbers. Another pause. Grandpa is worth more to my brand if people think I'm sacrificing for him. Silence. The words felt like knives. Worth more to my brand. Not father. Not family. A brand. I slowly sat down. For several seconds, I could not speak. Lyrienne began sobbing. "Dad, please." But I could barely hear her. Memories flooded my mind. Teaching her how to ride a bicycle. Helping her with school projects. Holding her hand after nightmares. Working overtime to pay for her education. Every sacrifice. Every moment. Reduced to marketing. I looked at my granddaughter. She was crying harder than anyone. "I didn't want you to get hurt, Grandpa." I slowly reached for her hand. She immediately held it. Her hands were freezing. "It's okay," I said softly. But, in truth, nothing was okay. Then one of the debt representatives cleared her throat. "There is another issue." Everyone looked at her. She opened her folder again. Several papers remained inside. "I'm afraid some investors are already preparing legal action." Lyrienne looked horrified. "What? They believe they were intentionally misled." Marcus lowered his head. The woman continued. "If fraud is proven." She stopped. Nobody needed her to finish. The consequences were obvious. Lyrienne slowly collapsed back into her chair. For the first time all night, she looked completely defeated. Outside, snow continued falling. Inside, everything she had built was collapsing. And I realized something painful. The daughter sitting before me had spent years trying to impress strangers. In the process, she had destroyed her own family. But I still had one question. One final question. I looked directly into her eyes. "Lyrienne." She slowly raised her head. "Was there ever a moment?" My voice became quiet. "When you actually wanted me here because I was your father?" Tears streamed down her face. The room waited for her answer. And her silence told me everything. Lyrienne never answered my question. She simply lowered her head and cried. And somehow, that silence hurt more than any insult she had spoken earlier. The dining room remained completely quiet. Outside, snow continued falling gently against the large glass windows. Inside, my family was falling apart. I slowly released Avalis' hand and stood up. Every pair of eyes followed me. For the first time that night, I suddenly felt very tired. Not physically, emotionally. I looked at my daughter, at the woman I had raised. The little girl who once waited by the front door whenever I returned from work. The child who used to run into my arms during thunderstorms. Now she sat before me as a stranger. "Dad." Her voice trembled. "I'm sorry." I remained silent. I never wanted things to go this far. No one spoke. She wiped her tears. At first, it was just small loans. Her breathing became uneven. My business wasn't growing fast enough. She looked around the room. Everyone online looked successful. I felt like I was falling behind. Another tear rolled down her cheek. "So I borrowed money." She laughed bitterly. "Then I borrowed more money to maintain the image." Marcus slowly closed his eyes. The vacations, the events, the designer clothes. She shook her head. Most of it wasn't real. Several relatives looked shocked. She continued. I kept thinking that one successful deal would fix everything. But every month things became worse. Her shoulders trembled. And eventually, I couldn't tell the difference between reality and the image I had created. Nobody interrupted her. For the first time that night, she was finally telling the truth. Then she looked at me. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I said nothing. But when investors started leaving, her voice cracked. I panicked. She looked toward the recordings on Avalis's phone. I convinced myself that if people felt sympathy for me, everything could still be saved. Tears streamed down her face. I thought I could fix everything later, but I kept making worse decisions. The debt representatives quietly listened. Marcus looked broken. Avalis cried silently, and I simply stood there. After several seconds, I finally spoke. You forged my signature. She closed her eyes. Yes. You humiliated me in front of our family. Yes. You used me as a marketing story. She began sobbing again. Yes. Silence. Then I asked one final question. Would you have stopped if nobody discovered the truth? The room froze. Lyrienne opened her mouth, but no words came out. And once again, her silence answered everything. I slowly nodded. I understand. Dad, please. I raised my hand gently. No. Her crying intensified. I looked around the room. At my relatives. At my granddaughter. At the Christmas decorations. Everything had changed. Finally, I spoke. I'm leaving tomorrow. Lyrienne immediately stood up. No. I think it's best. You can't leave. A sad smile appeared on my face. Tonight you told me to pay rent or get out. I didn't mean it. But you said it. She looked devastated. I was scared. I know. I was desperate. I know. Please don't leave. I looked into her eyes. And for the first time that evening, I no longer felt anger. Only sadness. I forgive you, Lyrienne. Everyone looked surprised. Even she seemed shocked. You forgive me? Yes. Her expression briefly filled with hope. Then I continued. But forgiveness and trust are not the same thing. The hope disappeared from her face. I forgive you because carrying hatred will only destroy me. I took a slow breath. But I cannot stay here. She began shaking her head. No. I need peace. Tears continued falling from her eyes. And you need to face the consequences of your actions. The room became silent again. One of the debt representatives finally spoke. We will need to begin legal procedures. Lyrienne looked completely broken. Marcus lowered his head. I gently placed my hand on Avalis's shoulder. You don't need to carry this burden anymore. She immediately hugged me. I'm sorry, Grandpa. You protected me. She cried harder. You were very brave. For the first time that night, a small smile appeared on her face. Hours later, the relatives slowly began leaving. Nobody wanted to celebrate anymore. Christmas dinner remained untouched on the table. The lights still shined. The music still played softly. But the warmth had disappeared. Early the next morning, I packed my belongings. Only one suitcase. I never needed much. As I carried it toward the front door, I heard footsteps behind me. Lyrienne. She looked exhausted, as if she had aged 10 years overnight. Dad. I turned around. Her eyes were red. I really did love you. I remained quiet. I just lost myself. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then I slowly nodded. I know. More tears rolled down her face. I don't know how to fix this. You can't fix everything immediately. She lowered her gaze. But you can start by being honest. She nodded weakly. I gently touched her shoulder. For the first time in months, she looked less like a successful internet personality and more like a frightened daughter. I hope one day you become happy again. She started crying once more. But this time, I said softly, be happy as yourself. Not as an image. Not as a brand. As yourself. I walked toward the door. Then I stopped. Without turning around, I spoke one last time. Your mother always said that family is the one thing money cannot replace. I finally looked back at her. I hope someday you truly understand what she meant. Then I left. 3 months later, investigations confirmed financial fraud and document forgery. Most of Lirienne's companies collapsed. Her luxury house was sold. Several business partners abandoned her. Many of the online followers who once admired her disappeared overnight. The image she had spent years creating vanished within weeks. That was her karma. Not prison. Not revenge. But living with the realization that she had traded genuine love for temporary admiration. As for me, I rented a small house near the ocean. A quiet place. A peaceful place.